Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Martin with The Contoured Chemist. Today is a get ready with me day and I'm gonna show you some of the new holiday releases. I'm still waiting patiently on some of them to get here, but I want to show you what I can that I already have, and we're just gonna do a full face and do some eyeshadow looks. So if you want to check it out, please keep watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for being here. Okay friends, we're gonna hop right on into it, but the first thing I want to address is this bad boy. So if you are brand new to my channel, you might not know what I'm talking about, but for all my OGs out there and have been following me for a really long time, you know I love to talk about mascara beauty, 3D foundation, and the whole shebang. And recently we changed names. So if you see the fact that I will have Seint, formerly known as Maskcara Beauty, on everything, it's because I'm sure it's going to take a while for everyone to learn of our fun new branding and all that jazz. You'll see that mostly everything I have is branded mascara as the company slowly rolls out new branding on all of our stuff. So I do have a few goodies here that show you the new Seint logo. I'm so stinking excited, guys. From what I've seen, everything, like I thought our makeup was like the most beautiful makeup I've ever seen, and it's only getting better. Like everything's more beautiful than it was before, which I didn't think was possible. So you will definitely have to check it out as they're rolling that out through the holidays. So you will get a little kind of reasoning why in your package if you order, so you can see all about that. Okay, let's get into some makeup. So if you did not see, our holiday releases so far have come out. I'm still waiting on some of the goodies like that advent calendar, and once I get it, you better believe I'm ripping that baby open all at once, because I have no patience, and I will do eyeshadow tutorials for you guys as well. But I wanted to show you what I do have so far and the True Love bundle, which came out, which is eyeshadows. And we're gonna do a couple different looks, but I figured let's just do a whole get ready with me and do like the whole shebang. Okay, so I'm gonna start. I have a clean face. All I have is my Glow Screen by Supergoop sunscreen on. That's all I've got. And the first thing up is we just got a brand new lip scrub. So if you are unfamiliar, we have two lip conditioners. One is mint and one is cherry. This one is made with the cherry lip conditioner in it. So I've been testing it out. You can just do it straight on the lips. I find that you don't get as much of a scrub that way. So what I like to do is just kind of use my fingernail and get a little bit off, just like any lip scrub, and kind of just rub it on. And you can do as little or as much as you want. You'll notice it's really conditioning right off the bat. Like you can tell it's got that lip conditioner in it. But it's awesome because you can just pop this out. You can keep it in the 10, or you can just pop it out and keep it in your compact. So anytime you need exfoliation. So I do get like the, I don't know, sugar, salt. I'm sure it's probably not really sugar or salt. The scrubbies. I get the particles off my lips. And so then my lips are already so much better. They are so dry after vacation. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in with this is my mint lip conditioner. And I'm just gonna load up on that. So my lips are gonna be ready for lipstick when I get there, which I always do at the end. So I'll show you the other product at the very end as well, because I tend to do those last as well. So I'm gonna use my favorite eyeshadow primer. I can't not prime my lids ever. Mature skin problems, So now my eyes, lips, and face are primed and ready to go. Okay, so there we go. Let's do a little makeup, shall we? Now, I figured, I'm like, well, let's do something a little bit different today. I feel like I'm always doing more medium coverage. I want to show you guys kind of a just, and I've done this before, but I want to show you guys maybe a little bit less is more kind of makeup look today, to where we're not gonna like cover everything, okay? We are just going to contour first, and we're going to take the approach of we're just gonna look at the most distracting parts of your face, and we're only going to use the makeup there. Does that make sense? So this is definitely gonna be more of a natural look. I'm gonna use a brush I probably don't use as much, even though I've been using it more and more. But the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna contour, which, if you know my videos, I normally like to layer, but I honestly feel like my redness has not been as bad lately, and I can totally contour first and get good coverage there. So the key with me, since I have a redness in my skin along my contour line, is to not use a contour with any kind of warmth there. If I want, like I can use different contours. I can use almost all of our contours on my face, but how I use it is a little bit different. So if I am not gonna lay down my color corrector and highlight first, and I was to go in straight with, say, one of our neutral contours like indigo or olive that pull more warm on me, it's because I have that redness underneath. So if you have similar skin and you're not layering, that could be a reason why it's pulling you more red. So if your contour is pulling that orange, red, really warm, try using color corrector under it, or you need to use a cooler contour, and your artist can definitely help you pick one as well. So I'm gonna go in with Astoria. That one is straight up cool. So I know it's not gonna pull as warm. Now you will see, without using a color corrector, it will pull warm on me naturally because I have that redness, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this and blend up. Now I'm still using my detail hack because, no joke, this is my ride or die. Like I can't contour with anything else. It's gonna be really hard for me not to ever. Okay, but I'm still gonna apply it heavy enough that I can kind of blur out the edges once I add a little bit of highlight, but I want that coverage. So you can see it's a little bit warm on my cheek, and that's because I have a natural warmth to my skin, which a lot of people do, and they just don't realize it. Okay, so I pounced in at an angle, got it on half my brush, and now if I can actually see, I'm gonna just press that along my contour line, pulling up, never down. I find that I have to blend a little bit more when I apply my contour without the highlight. I'm not really sure why. I just feel like it doesn't go on quite the same way. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this brush. You guys know I love this brush, to kind of just blend out that edge a little bit, because I feel like it looks a little too heavy. Just think of it as a magic eraser. Kind of just blur. Okay, now to the forehead. Okay, so this is what's gonna give my face that shadow and dimension, but it's also giving coverage, which is what makes 3D foundation completely different than traditional foundation, where normally I don't know if there's even any other contours on the market that actually give coverage other than ours. So can you see how warm that pulls on me? I feel like it's warm enough that I don't need a bronzer. So a lot of times when people are asking like contour shades, and it can vary depending on how you like to wear your makeup. And if you don't mind your contour pulling a little warm, you know, some people don't need a bronzer if their contour is warm. Okay, now I'm gonna do jawline. Okay, so I'm not gonna do my nose yet. My nose is one place that, can you tell, it is way darker than anywhere else on my face. I'm gonna have to use a little bit of a darker shade there in order for the makeup to last. So with this makeup, you can't necessarily say, I'm like, okay, I wanna make my nose lighter so it matches the rest of my face. If I was to put color, like say that I'm around here, straight on my nose, it's going to fade within a couple hours. It's also gonna increase the look of texture, and I feel like everybody's got more texture on their nose just naturally, pores, all those things, and it can really start to separate and break up, especially on me, like right around this area where I have more redness. So I am still gonna use my color corrector, you better believe it. I am just going to keep it really light, very light-handed. I'm gonna grab this brush and I'm gonna use the small end. So this is the, oh gosh, with the name change to Seint, we also had a lot of, not a lot, but other changes within the company, and everything kind of just got simplified. So our names of our brushes are just simpler. So this is called the blend brush, I believe. Oh my gosh, I should know this. Like, this got changed from detail hack to detail. The biggest change was the 30-second hack is now called the 3D brush. This they changed a little bit ago. It used to be the B squared. Now it is the blush bronzer, powder, things like that. The eyeshadow brush has changed as well, so we'll get into that when we get to eyeshadow. So just a heads up, if you're looking online and you can't find the brush, it might take me a bit to remember all of these things because I've been calling these everything the same thing for over 3 years. So my brain is gonna be a little bit slow on this change. So please forgive me. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and use this brush, and I'm going to use it where I need the most color correction first, which is gonna be around my nose where I have like broken capillaries. Again, fun little fact about aging. So I'm gonna use it right there. I also tend to break out right there as well. Okay, now you can tell this area is still much darker. So I'm just gonna use some down the side of my nose because I do wanna contour my nose. And when you go into contouring noses, you always want to use highlight here to brighten, to make it look thinner. And if I was to put on my brightener there, it's not gonna sit pretty whatsoever until I match those darkest tones first. Okay, now since we got this brush and we're up close and personal, see how much purple I have around the edge of my eye. Okay, thin skin, you can see my veins. I'm just gonna use a touch, and I'm using a lot less than I normally do when I use my fingers. Can you tell though, like the difference? Hopefully you can see that. Okay, I'm gonna use a little bit on my lids as well, just a quick wash. And my goal is just to keep it as thin and light as possible, and only where absolutely necessary. Okay. Okay, so you can probably see now that we've kind of eliminated the distractions of the purple and the darker nose, now you can kind of see where I have that redness. So really right now it's very prominent right here because this already kind of filtered out that redness on my cheek. It almost looks like I have a natural blush, if only. But this right here is gonna give me texture issues if I don't kind of match that depth of that redness right there. Kind of blur that out. And this seems to be like a prominent place for people with pores. We all have them, but this makeup shouldn't make them look bigger than they actually are, or you have a wrong color, or you're not applying that darker shade first and you're trying to put a lighter shade there when you're in fact darker. Okay, you can kind of see I've got hyperpigmentation all in this area here. Again, I'm just gonna match that and press on a little bit more where needed right there. A little bit of redness right above my brows for some reason. Okay, now, forgot about my chin. Okay, better, right? Not like I have a full face yet, but better. Okay, so now that we match those darkest tones, I'm gonna go ahead and flip the brush over to this bigger end. So you guys know I have a love-hate relationship with this brush, but for this kind of makeup look, it works so well. You guys know I love this end, but it will apply it heavier. So if you have a really heavy hand and you like a natural makeup, you're gonna wanna try this brush. So I do just use the smallest amount, okay? And I'm just going to swirl it. Okay, so this is gonna kind of clean up that line for me a little bit. Okay, I'm not using too much, but to me, I'm blurring out my freckles. So I have a lot of hyperpigmentation, not so much that I feel like I need to color correct every spot, but my main shade will blur that for me. Okay, because if you have freckles, you kind of understand. Your freckles are this dark, your skin color is here. You almost have to use a color right in the middle to kind of still show your freckles, but have it kind of even out that skin tone. It's one reason why I self-tan so much. It helps my skin at least. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of swirl just right over that. You'll see that this color isn't gonna wear off during the day because I kind of put just a touch of color corrector there where I needed it first. Makes the biggest difference. This brush can actually really help you blend those areas as well. Make sure your contour didn't get too low. Whoops, I just dipped it to the wrong color. Okay, so now I'm gonna use a little bit on my nose. Don't wanna move that color too much, just kind of even out. Okay, so you notice on my forehead, I really didn't do a lot of highlight. I already have that contour, but I kind of want to add a little bit of light here. So that way I can see it kind of, I don't know, I think of foreheads is like almost ombreing as you go up from light to dark. So I'm gonna blend in a little bit more highlight there. Just keep it light and natural. Okay, so you can totally still see my skin. I mean, yes, I contoured a little heavier because I like contour, but you can totally blur that out if you want to keep contour even more natural. So it just looks like you have amazing skin, right? Okay, so like I said before, I feel like I'm pulling warm enough. So I am going to skip bronzer. I feel like I've got some warmth to my face, tied in with my neck, I'm good. So I'm skipping it for today. Totally personal preference depending on how warm of a look you like. But I'm gonna go ahead and brighten. I'm not gonna brighten a ton. I'm just gonna kind of try to mitigate these shadows here. Actually, you know what? Now that my nose is evened out, I'm gonna add a little bit of contour. So I'm gonna use this brush, and you can see this brush is like, it can totally fatten out where it can like be pulled down. So it's like got more of a skinny straight line, right? I'm gonna use that in my same Astoria, and I'm gonna just kind of add a little bit of shadow right to that part of my nose that turns down to do a quick nose contour. And add that excess under my lip Okay, now I'm not even gonna wipe off my brush. I'm gonna skinny it out again and just do it straight into my brightener. And I'm gonna attempt a straight line. Why do I always try this? I fail every time. Oh man. Anyway, go in between the brows with it and kind of brighten right there. Can you see that? It's like magic. Okay, I'm gonna take that same brightener color and now I'm gonna try to like, cause this is like, my nose is wide, right? So this is the part that's going to make that go inward. If I skip this, it's just gonna kind of stay the natural way. So I'm just gonna press on a little bit right there. And then I'm just gonna do a small little bit down here to kind of just brighten that. Don't have to go all the way over here. Okay, so here's where I like to kind of like look and be like, okay, where's the shadow? I'm just gonna keep it in my shadow just to kind of make that eye bag disappear, right? Okay, so I'm not just putting it everywhere. I'm trying to just get rid of this shadow, which that is a shadow because that's hyperpigmentation, which is why it looks darker right there. So my accent brightener really helps kind of tone that down even more. There you go. See that? Gosh, I love that magic. Okay, now let's work on this side. This is my bad eye. This one always takes more work. Okay, so we're gonna go all the way up to that contour line. And I'm just pressing with this brush. I'm not pulling, which tends to kind of just move that product around more. Okay, you see my nose got skinnier. That is pretty much the only purpose of a nose contour, people, is to make your nose look thinner. Anything else can be really complicated to do. Okay, so now I'm looking for shadows again. I'm going to the darkest part of the shadow and I'm pressing it in just where I need it. Crazy thing is how like shadows change as you move your face. So if you do have eye bags, this is how to minimize them. Okay, and then I always try to keep it down right here, like in this triangle right here, I feel like is the most important for kind of brightening up the center of your face. So if you do have more mature under eyes, you don't want to get it in those lines, just concentrate your triangles right here and you're still going to get that pop of brightness that brings attention to your eyes. So I always like to do top of the Cupid's bow and the center of my chin because you can tell it's still a little dark right there. And that's bringing in that light. Now, if you have a lighter neck, this is where you want to press it along the jawline to kind of tone that down, bring it back to matching. Okay, do you remember what time it is? What time is it? It's Magic Perfector time. So even though I really use such little product, I put on my brightener a lot heavier so that way I could, you know, get these shadows to dissipate, lighten, whatever. So I'm still gonna use this always and forever. Okay, so heard me preach it. Don't layer anything, contour or highlight, without this bad boy, especially highlights. Now you'll notice, since we use such little product, like you won't have to perfect near as much. The more you apply, the more excess you have to remove, which means you have to use this more. But I still do it everywhere just to kind of press that into the skin. Keep it looking like skin magical, right? Okay, so we have perfected. It is blush time. I'm going back to Old Faithful. Sorry, guys. I still am not a big fan of this brush for blush just because I I feel like it moves stuff, and I like glossy blushes. And I find it kind of sticks a little bit too much. So it's just a personal preference. I'm going back to my Ride or Die blush brush, and what blush should we do today? Let's do a combination I don't think I've ever done before. Just gonna make it up. I'm gonna use Frenchie and Royal. If you guys have noticed, I have been obsessed with Royal this year. I don't know why. It just, every time I wear it, I love it. So anyway, Frenchie is like a peach matte. Okay, so this is gonna add that pigment. You'll notice it's pretty natural though on me. Just gives that kind of nice, natural, I don't know. Oh, I obviously can't think of any other word other than natural at this moment. Okay, but then I want glow to my cheeks. That's my fave. So Royal is more of like it is sheer, but it's more like a wine undertoned red. Ooh, I don't know, it's just been my favorite. So one dip. I don't think I've ever used that combo before, but I like it. Maybe I have. There's like an endless possibility of combos. Okay, so I feel like I went a little crazy over here. I got a little too close to my nose. So you can tell I'm not even. Okay, first of all, for easiest thing is to just pick up your perfector. Okay, then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna use my brightener a little bit more and just kind of pull that back. Remember, there are no mistakes with creams. We haven't set anything. You can adjust. Okay, and I like to try to keep it 1 to 2 finger widths away from my nose. So it doesn't age me. Nobody wants that. Okay, much better. Okay, so what's next, guys? All right, I'm like dying to get to these eyeshadows that I can't think straight. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm gonna set under my eyes. So by now, I probably have creased a little bit. No, I'm pretty good. I didn't put a whole lot under my eyes, so I'm good. I'm still gonna pick up that powder brush like always, and I'm just going to touch my vanilla dust. So I have a nice thin layer and I can just press it on just enough to set it, not too much to make my under eyes look older. Okay, and then I feel like I'm a little shiny today, so I'm just gonna press on a little bit, just where needed. And if you crease at all, just hit those spots that you might like be prone to crease, and just a touch of setting powder, and I swear you don't have to worry about it. Just don't use too much if you have more mature skin. Okay, so we're almost done with the face. Let's go ahead and pick up the perfector again. Oh, I don't even know which one that it is. This is number 3. Perfume number 3, aka Rose Gold. My extreme multitasker. Okay, and we're done with the face. So, okay, let's first do brows. I'm dying to show you guys this new brow product. Okay, so if you did not see, that's not it. This gorgeous tin with the angel wings is our brand new brow wax. Okay, first of all, I want to mention, because I've already been asked, I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. Can you see how it's separated from the sides? Okay, that's just a part of manufacturing. So if you think about waxes, when they're hot, it's gonna fill it out. But during manufacturing, then they let it cool. Waxes, the chemistry in me comes out, and waxes tend to shrink when set. So that's just natural. It's really interesting because it looks like I opened the tin for the first time and I'm like, it's empty. There's nothing in it. It looked empty. And then I'm like, wait, it's so cool. It is a hard wax. You use it a little bit differently. So let me first say, I recommend if you fill in your brows like I do, you want to fill them in first. I have a feeling it would get messy if you tried to fill them in after you use this. This is more like a finishing product. This gives hold to your brows. Okay, so first I'm gonna fill like I always do. I'm gonna grab my angled brush and I use Trust eyeshadow and I'm just gonna fill them in real quick. So since we're talking about brows, I'll show you. So I always do from the front of the brow to the highest point of the arch, about my pupil, I do a straight line. Do the same thing from the bottom of my brow, straight line. And those should be more or less parallel. You can tell mine kind of angles a little bit. Now my eyebrows, just so you know, are microbladed, but you'll see like they, you know, fade over time, obviously. So I don't technically have to fill them in. I feel kind of naked when I don't because makeup gets in them and they get lightened, and it just makes me feel better when my brows are done, especially with eye makeup. So then I'm gonna go from the top part of my arch all the way down to my tail and another line. And then again, the bottom part of the arch down and meet right there at that tail. Okay, so your tail should end, if you go nose to side of eye, should be right there. Now, if you have more mature eyes, you can actually kind of fudge this line a little bit and pull more straight out instead of straight down. So the more down you will go, the more it can age your eyes and pull your eyes down. So a trick is to go out straight a little bit and you'll automatically get kind of a lift to that outer corner. This naturally will just kind of downturn as we age. So that's a quick tip. Then you can just kind of, then I at least just fill in. So I fill in the tail and I work back up, filling it. Now, the head of the brow, I feel like, is a very personal preference thing. Some people like for it to kind of ombre and get lighter as you go in because naturally people have less hair here than, well, I don't want to say that because a lot of people's tails totally thin out as they age. I know mine do. This is why it's tattooed on. So I like to just kind of fill it in, but you can totally keep it really light right there. And then I turn it over to the spoolie. And this is where I just keep spooling until I feel like it is blended and I don't see any kind of harshness at all. I feel like that keeps it natural. Okay, so that's how I normally wear my brows. Let me preface this by saying, I am one that tends to keep my brows trimmed. So I normally will do this whole thing, trim that excess. I don't normally wear my eyes in the trending boy brow trend. I don't even know what to call it. The style, the boy brow style. But this product is amazing if that is what you like. Let me fill in the other side real quick. Okay, so you can do that with an eyeshadow or a contour, depending on the color of your brows and the color you want it to go. I will say, I feel like brows are such a personal preference thing. They can change your face more than anything else can. I'll never forget when I finally kind of got a little bit more comfortable with filling in my brows and I started using Trust. It took a while for me to get used to it. I used to use Shadow contour, which is much lighter and more gray, and it wasn't the same color as my hair. They were much lighter. So if you are new to filling in your brows, give yourself a little bit of grace. It takes a little bit of time to get used to it. Same goes with changing up your eyebrow style. So I feel like this is good for either those that like the boy brow and like to, you know, hold their brow hairs up, or those like me that just want them to stay. Like my brows are long enough that like they, you know, can go down and then they're like, it doesn't look clean or anything like that. And this is gonna give it hold. So the whole point of a brow wax, in case you are new to it, is holding your brows in place. It is not to fill in your brows. It's not to be like a one-stop product. There are things on the market that are kind of similar that have color in them. If you don't like to fill them in, but you want to add more color to kind of make them look filled in. I'll be honest, I have never been a fan of like the gels, because gels, I can't stand the way they make my eyebrows feel. Like I tested this from my FabFitFun box, and no joke, that day I was like, it felt as if like hairspray in my brows, and I can't stand it. So this is a soft hold. That being said, it is very easy to get too much if you're not careful. This is definitely a product I would recommend slowly building. Don't just go crazy. Let me show you how to use it. So, okay, the key with this is it is like a hard, it doesn't come off, okay? It's hard. It's a hard wax. That way you can keep it in your compact and it's not gonna melt, get everywhere, gum up, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna get a clean spoolie so I can show you. Pretty much you need a spoolie and you need something to spray on your spoolie brush. So whether that's a tiny little bottle of water or stay spray or any setting spray, you just need to wet your brush. So you can just straight up, you know, do this. I recommend not getting it like totally soaking saturated wet. You could even, like, if you have a shadow switcher with one of these things in the middle, kind of do that thing with the, I guess that's the sponge in the middle, and then just kind of do this action. I found it's very easy. If you get it too wet, then it picks up more of this, if that makes sense. So all you have to do is kind of just, I kind of like to twirl it so it gets on all sides, and then just kind of gently, what's the word? Rake it through the wax. I don't know. My words are not coming to me today. Okay, so let's show a couple different ways. You can either, I need a mirror for this. I can't see. You can either brush your brow hairs upwards. I don't know if you guys will even be able to see this because I just trimmed them like last week. Okay, now I feel like I didn't get as, okay, so I went ahead, you can feel it. I can feel it in my brows, okay? But say you want more. Go in for a little bit more, okay? You'll notice if it starts looking white, you've gotten way too much. Okay, can you see that? I don't know if you guys can see that at all. Okay, now I'm gonna take what's remaining on this because it's not gonna take much at all. And I'm gonna do the same thing, but this one I'm just gonna brush through like that, okay? I can feel it, okay? And all that's doing is just gonna hold my brows in place. So if you have unruly brows that like to go crazy, and you don't really want the boy brow look, you can totally just use this to hold your brows, okay? It's gonna be much more of a softer hold than a gel will. It is a wax formula, okay? So I hope that helps. You definitely need to get the line brush. It's now called the line instead of the hot line. I told you everything is simpler. Simpler is the key word. Okay, so should I leave my one brow like this? See if it'll translate in pictures. All right, but that's awesome. You can just drop it in your compact, just like everything else, right? It's finally time. Let's do some eye makeup. I just totally opened the wrong one. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the True Love bundle. First of all, I'm gonna take this off because I need some arm space because we're swatching these bad boys. Okay, so the True Love bundle comes in a brand new compact. It will say Seint on it, not mascara. It's beautiful. It looks like the stars. So I will drop in a picture to show you what that looks like and all of the colors that are included. Okay, so this is the closest one I've got. It does come in a mini double decker, which is this size, which holds 24 total eyeshadows because you've got 12 it holds in the top. So you will have an entire bottom empty that you can put your face foundation in or keep adding to your eyeshadow collection. So these are the colors that come in it. Let's swatch them, shall we? Okay, first of all, I kind of put them in order like of mattes. I don't know, lightest to dark. It's not really lightest to darkest, but there are 4 matte shades. So we've got Cupcake, Mama, Bird, and Oak. And I've already had some questions over like the difference between Bird and Oak. So I'm just gonna swatch them all. Okay, Cupcake is a matte shade that is not transparent, a matte, fully opaque version of Vanilla Dust. Okay, our Vanilla Dust powder, setting powder, is translucent. This is opaque, okay? But it is the same exact color if you want to compare. Okay, so that is Cupcake. Then we have Mama. Mama is a pink, you see, a pale pink matte. And then we have Bird. So Bird to me is I consider it a neutral mid-tone matte. It's great crease color. But the difference between this and like basic, this has a little bit more green in it. So think of more of like an olive undertone. Okay. And then Oak is darker and a little bit cooler. I consider it, I don't know if it's going to show up darker on here. I swear it's darker on the eye. It's more neutral. Okay, it's a little bit cooler. You can probably tell compared. You see the green in that? Okay. All right, let's get now fun shades. I don't know why I consider all the shimmers fun. Okay, first of all, we have As You Wish. This is the chameleon shade I talk about. The one that totally looks like, I don't know, yellow in the 10. It's not at all. This is one kind of like Starlit Illuminator. She's iridescent. Okay, if you swatch it super heavy, that's when you see it looks light, but can you see the purple kind of glow? Oh my gosh, it's like one of the most fun colors ever. So that's As You Wish. Next is Gold Digger, one of my favorite golds. Kind of a warm gold. Okay, then we have, same all of my favorites. Ginger, totally one of my favorites, but this one's more of a, I don't know, copper color. I don't know why this one scares everybody so much. It's probably my top 5 all-time faves. Okay, then we have Bayou. Bayou is the prettiest color. It makes me want blue eyes because this I've seen it on blue eyes. It looks so good on blue eyes. It's kind of iridescent as well. It's kind of got that shift to it, that gold, blue, green. So pretty. And then Duke. Duke is the palest of our blues. Not iridescent. This one's just a shimmery light blue. I don't consider this one iridescent. Maybe. Maybe. It's about the same as Bayou. Oh, and then my fingers are getting really dirty. And then number 33. Ooh, so pretty. This is one of my all-time favorite shades for Christmas. I don't know why. This shade screams Christmas to me. I've done several tutorials lately with these greens on my IGTV if you want to check them out too. So that one is number 33. And then Rigoletto, I actually just used the other day in a smoky look that I did in Mexico. I love this color because it's like gray, but still has warmth to it. It's like a shimmery gray. If you like a smoky eye, this color is so good for a smoky eye. Can you tell it's got some warmth to it? It's kind of like oak, but in a shimmery version. I don't know if I've ever realized that before. Totally looks like a shimmery oak. Awesome. Okay, then we have black tie. Another amazing color for using as a liner or a smoky eye. Oh my gosh, I'm running out of fingers and arm space. Okay, so this is more of like shimmery black, got some silver kind of in it as well. So there you go. That is the full lineup of the True Love bundle. Again, it comes in the Wish mini double decker while supplies last, I believe. It's usually how our bundles go. So if you are new to formerly Maskcara Beauty, new to Seint, you might not know, bundles are like the one time that you can get stuff discounted. Normally bundles are only around holidays or like special events. So it's kind of far and few between. So if you like the colors, grab it while you can, kind of deal. All right, now to decide what kind of look we can do. Maybe we should do 2 different looks. What do you guys think? Okay, yeah, we're doing 2. All right, first up, I don't think I ever put powder on my eyelids, which I will get creasing if I don't. So I'm just gonna set that real quick. Okay, first of all, let's go, we'll do something a little bit more subtle on this side. I'm going to use some mattes. Gosh, you guys, this is hard. It's hard to make a decision for me. Okay, let's straight up make sure my brushes are clean. Okay, I'm gonna use Bird first. Okay. So let's start off with mid-tone mattes are easy. Let's go with basic. Okay, first we're gonna start with basic and we're just gonna go right in the crease using the eyeshadow brush. This is now no longer called the Eyeshadow Everything, but the eyeshadow brush. This should be easy to remember, right? Okay, I'm just gonna windshield wiper it, and this is gonna be a nice, quick, easy eye. Okay, that is Bird. I'm gonna flip it over, use the small end and halo. Okay, I lied. We might do a smoky eye over here. I keep changing my mind. Anyway, let's keep going, shall we? Okay, so Bird. We're just gonna keep adding to it. I'm gonna show you how you can use several of these colors. Okay, so that's Bird. Okay, now I'm gonna grab, this is now called the smudge brush, no longer the blend and tap. That's gonna take a while to remember. So I'm gonna use the flatter end and I'm gonna do Mama, just so I get a little bit more pigmentation on the lid. So this is the pink shade. If you like mattes, this is a great shade to have in your collection. Okay, just kind of a nice subtle pink. You could totally stop there for an everyday look and be good to go. If I wanted to just step it up a little bit, I would just grab a little bit of Cupcake, and this is great for mature eyes to kind of still give that pop of brightness right there, okay, without the shimmer. And then underneath your brow to kind of highlight, okay? You can also pull this on that inner corner to brighten as well. There you go. So Bird, Mama, Cupcake. Now, let's say I wanted to step it up again. Let's see if I can find my brush. Okay, now I'm gonna show you what As You Wish looks like. So again, this is fun. If you like that iridescent shimmer, you can use this to brighten. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera. Maybe. maybe not. Let's pack some on the lid. So I'm gonna just do the inside corner. I'm using the multitasker. That name did not change, luckily. And I'm just gonna kind of use it on the inside corner, and I know you'll be able to see it in pictures better. It almost has a purple shift to it. Can you see? Just add a little bit of brightness. But it's not so shimmery that it like increases the look of texture. This one doesn't at all. And you can keep loading it on and it's gonna show more of that cream yellow color the heavier you get. But it's such a pretty color. Okay, so that's a good way to use several of the shades really subtly for every day. Now let's keep adding to it. Okay, because this reminds me kind of how I did my eyes in Mexico, and then I just smoked it out. So let's just start smoking, right? Okay, so a good way is to just slowly start adding color. Let's go into Rigoletto. Actually, I'm gonna go in with this brush. So smudge again, we're gonna go in the rounded end. And now I'm just gonna start adding that color to my outer corner. Kind of tapping it on. And then I'm gonna go right there inside the deepest part of my crease. And you wanna just keep kind of building slowly until it's as dark as you want. Okay, I like to flip this brush over and kind of blend as I go. I really need to use this thing more. Okay, so that's Rigoletto. And I always like to add it along the bottom. I feel like with a smoky eye, it always looks better once you apply liner, but that's a really subtle smoky eye. I feel like that you could get away with that for daytime. And you can even add a little bit of oak as well to kind of, I mean, these colors are so versatile. You could just keep adding to it. I'm going to make it a little bit more dramatic. Let's use some Black Friday, which is our cream eyeliner. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and darken my lash line first. Okay, so already I feel like that helps with the definition, smoky eye. Now we're just gonna add a little bit more drama. I'm gonna use this black tie. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm just gonna grab, let's do the multitasker. So I already went ahead and laid down that Black Friday eyeliner, but I'm just gonna kind of smudge some of this black tie over it with the multitasker brush. So if you are messy with your eyeliner, this is a great technique. It'll kind of set it in place and kind of soften that line. Okay, and it adds a little bit of sparkle, which I don't know if you can tell. And then I'm gonna just take a little bit more and start adding more to that outer corner. Okay, now what I like to do is sometimes just take a little bit of a matte shade. I'm gonna take that oak and the fluffy brush and I'm just gonna kind of blend it in a little bit more. Okay, so we've added to the smoky eye, got a little bit more definition, and I'm gonna smudge that along the bottom as well. Okay, so I feel like this is definitely dramatic, definitely more dramatic than the other side, but you can totally stop or keep going depending on how you want it. So for parties, I feel like everybody's always like smoky eye or a neutral eye, red lip. This is a great smoky eye for any occasion. I will say that this is probably the best kind of eye to do after your face or before your face, because even though I did pretty good like fallout wise, it is, if you're using that darker shades like black tie and Rigoletto, if it does fall out, it's an easy way to make you look like you have a black eye if you don't want to completely wipe it off. With creams, it's still pretty easy to kind of just, you know, clean it up, but still. Okay, there's eye look number one. Let's do something completely different on the other side. Oh, now my nose is all right because I keep itching my nose. I probably have a hair that I can't see. Okay, ignore that. Let's go in and do something completely different. Gosh, I just can't not use my two favorite colors in here. So we're just gonna do it. We're gonna wipe off our brushes first. Okay, I'm gonna show you Oak in the crease this time. Oak is the color I always say that can be anywhere from mid-tone to dark, depending on how much you use of it. It's such a great versatile shade. So I'm just gonna start off really lightly in the crease. Okay, so that's Oak. Again, under the eye as well. Subtle definition. Okay, now, what should we do? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with Gold Digger. I can't help it, I love this color. Let's go with the multitasker. So that way you get the most pigmentation. In fact, let's do something fun. Glitter primer. So I had somebody asking the other day how to wear glitter, and no joke, this isn't a glitter. Let me just preface that. It is just a very shimmery shade, but glitter primer by far is what will take, like if you're trying to wear glitter or you want more pigmentation on your just shimmery shades, this stuff is like super glue, okay? Tiniest amount. I'm just gonna kind of use it just on the lid where my pigmented colors are gonna go, and it's just gonna kind of stick and hold, okay? It's gonna hold that shimmer in place. So then if you're using a glitter, you really wanna make sure you're using the multitasker and only pressing on. I'm going to still use the multitasker. Okay, and I'm gonna go, that inner corner is gonna be, that inner third is gonna be Gold Digger. Do you see how pigmented that is with that glitter primer? I feel like I always break out the glitter primer for holiday makeup because it just works so well. If you're wanting extra pigmentation, color payoff, try it. Okay, now I'm gonna just wipe off my brush and go into Ginger. And this is gonna be that middle third. Oh my gosh, that color's so pretty. Okay, and then you guys might think I'm crazy. That very outer corner, I'm gonna grab the smudge brush, the round end again, and this time I am going to press on number 33. I'm telling you guys, green and gold look so good together. Don't think I'm crazy, I promise. definitely a holiday eye in my opinion. I mean, it doesn't have to be. It could also be St. Patrick's Day. I think I did something similar for St. Patty's actually. Okay, we're just gonna add that just like that. Okay, now the key is you want it to kind of subtly blend an ombre. So I'm just gonna kind of take my eyeshadow brush and just kind of go over it like that. Okay, so it kind of blends into each other. And then I'm going back in to oak along the edge to get that blend, okay? Otherwise it just will kind of stop. It looks stark. You want to blend those edges together. And there we go. So depending on how much you want it to kind of pop, you could totally add a little bit of that green on the bottom. That's probably what I would do, or you could do the gold. But since that green is the outer corner color, usually that's the color I like to bring onto the bottom so it stays kind of connected. And then I'm gonna kind of clean up. And then I'm gonna line my eyes. I feel like with really bold eye looks, you don't have to, but I feel like it looks more finished is the word I'm going for if I line. Okay, now you've got two great dark colors in this palette that you can set that line with if you're like me and you like to set it. I'm gonna try Rigoletto on this one since I used black tie over the other one. And I'm just dipping right back in and just kind of setting, pressing it on. So I still have that definition, but it doesn't change the color too much. Okay, mascara. Guys, you think we went crazy enough on the eyes? I don't know. So different, but I love them both. Okay, I feel like I need some lips. Obviously, if you go dramatic on the eyes, I recommend a more neutral nude lip. I would not do a bright red lip with this. Maybe if I wasn't quite so smoked out here, like the first step of this eye look, totally could have rocked a bold lip with that. Okay, so subtle lip. My nude lip of choice lately has been lining my lips with Astoria. Okay, and then using Sadie, which Sadie was supposed to be a limited edition color, and you guys, it's not limited edition anymore. It's not listed as limited anymore, and I'm so excited because it is one of my favorite neutral glosses. Like, look how pretty that is. It's like your lips but better. I just have to kind of define my lips first, and then I'm good. If you want a little bit more color, I'd say go in with that Royal and just a touch, like, oh, so pretty. Okay, guys, I think I've talked long enough. I'm sorry that was so long. You guys know I tend to get a little chatty on my get ready with me's, but I hope that helped. I hope you guys are excited about the new products. Stay tuned for more eyeshadow tutorials once I get that calendar and the new compacts and all that stuff. I can't wait. It's gonna be like Christmas getting that package. So much new goodness is coming in the next few months. I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you need to be color matched for this incredible makeup that's 3D foundation, I have a color match request in the description box below the video. I'd be happy to help and be your artist. And thank you again so much for watching, and I love you guys.